Hello, everybody. This is Scooby.
And that means I'm Steven, and you're here for another episode of The Feedback, where Scoobs and I get together and share a song with you, with ourselves, or the other person technically. We decide how that song makes us feel, or things that it makes us think of, or fellow artists, things we liked, things we weren't unsure of, and then also just general discussion along the way and kind of getting lost and having a little bit of fun. Today, Scoobs has brought the song, but before we get to that, I wanted to let you know that I'm bringing drinks again, as we have been doing for a while now. We always stay with the tried and true. I'm pretty sure we've both had water every single time since we've started this, and I still do have that high quality H2O. But I also got another Mountain Dew Infinite Swirl Pineapple Berry. Because again, we talked about Dew. This is the Dew cast, and I love Mountain Dew. So Mountain Dew, if you hear this, PepsiCo, what up? Scoobs, what are you drinking, and what song are we listening to today? It's part two of my choices, right?
That's correct. So, first of all, I just want to say it's going to be edited out, but I think it was last time we recorded, we fell down the Mountain Dew rabbit hole for like 15 minutes. That
We
is
sure
not a
did.
joke. That is
No,
completely real. Steven was on the Mountain Dew wiki just reading out flavors and us being like, damn, that sounds good. I want to try that.
and unfortunately, most of those ones are exclusive to stores that are nowhere nearby.
That's right. I do not have a Mountain Dew today. I did have a
Damn.
Baja Blast earlier because
Hey,
Taco Bell is a place that I frequent, and that's where they got that Baja Blast, baby. So I don't have that now.
bong.
What I do have is my usual, at this point, Gatorade Glacier Freeze. Gatorade Zero, excuse me. Zero
I'm sorry.
sugar.
What flavor?
Light blue Gatorade. And some water because I have not really been hydrating super well lately. So I was like, you know what, water and Gatorade, that should do it. That should get me back up there, get me flowing clearly, if you will.
I was gonna say, we should just make this the sponsored cast today because I was gonna say if you're looking for to increase your water intake, a beverage that I've been a big fan of is those mix-in liquid IVs, where it's like basically like a powdered Gatorade, it's sugar-free, but like there's electrolytes
I
and
did
stuff.
see those the other day at the pharmacy when I was picking up some medicine. I was curious about them, but I didn't get them.
They are very good.
Yeah, I feel like that's up there with like putting powdered milk in your milk so you get more milk per milk. Like, what if you took that liquid IV and mixed it into Gatorade? Like, what would happen?
Hey, I heard you like electrolytes, so we put electrolytes in your electrolytes so you can get electrolytes while you're electrolyting.
Yeah, you can't OD on electrolytes, can you? You'll just like it's like vitamins. You'll just pee it out.
I guess, but I'm sure there's like those things where, there's vitamin B poisoning and vitamin C
Mm,
poisoning if you have too much of it. So I guess,
that's true.
let's just throw this out there. We are not doctors, and nothing
No.
we say should be held to your health accountability. We do not have any knowledge on any of this stuff. Please don't take anything that we say into a dietary bonded way you should live your life. We are just two dudes that'll probably die in our 70s because of being American.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Anywho,
Anywho, so
let me open up
today's
that Mountain Dew.
yeah, go for it. Today's song, and I mentioned this to you last time we recorded for our listeners. It was 2 weeks ago. I have brought a cover to the table today, and I think the
That's
hint
right.
I gave you was that it was a very popular song from 2016, and that I
Okay.
mean that is kind of vague, but I have to say, one time a friend told me she was listening to a cover, and I was like, I don't know. She was like, you have to guess. I was like, well, you have to give me some clues, like music. It's music. She's like, well, it was from 2009 and it was super popular. It was kind of synthy. And I was like, oh, it was Fireflies by Owl City. And she was like, what? How?
How did you do
How?
that?
I was like, 2009, super popular, and synthy? You couldn't have given me better hints.
I don't know if I would have gotten it off of that, but I'm proud of you. I will
Well,
say that.
I did kind of cheat, and I was like, "What year did Fireflies come out?" I did Google that, and I was like, "Oh, it's 2009. That's got to be it." So
Okay. But hey, you still had the idea based on just super popular. You had the general idea of the timeline, and you knew that it was synthy.
Yeah. So we got there pretty quickly. So can you think of any songs that were super popular in 2016 off the dome?
Oh boy, let
Which
me.
like 2016 feels like it was yesterday. It's almost 10 years ago.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say. So the only reason why I might be able to kind of figure anything out, I'm trying to place myself in where I was. So I know I just started working at FYE, their home office, in
So
2015,
okay.
and that was like the 2015 into 2016. So like super popular in that time frame would be definitely something I'd be familiar with.
Okay. I will
Um,
say it is an artist that you are definitely familiar with, the original artist.
okay, well I'm no longer sure because I was gonna say maybe something in like the One Direction vein of things because I know they were very big in that area at that time frame. And then I can't remember. Oh, Charlie Puth was a big one in like the 2016, 2017 area. I don't know. I definitely I'm gonna have a hard time with this.
All right. Well, the original artist of this song is one Donald Glover.
Hell yeah, I know him.
Yeah, Childish Gambino. And the song I have chosen is Redbone.
Love that song.
So, the original track, Redbone, from Awaken My Love in 2016, when he went in a completely new direction.
Hard left.
Yep, R&B and soul as compared to his previous rap leanings, and he's gone kind of back and forth since then. But I have to say, and I think you would agree that this album was very much an outlier, and even now still is for what he was doing.
Absolutely. It's one of those albums where it's like I feel like a lot of people didn't appreciate it when it came out,
Do you know
but they
what though?
listened back to it a few years later like, "Oh shit, I can't believe we all slept
I
on
feel like
this."
that's what happened with all of his work, honestly. I remember when Because the Internet came out, and we discussed this already because we have done a Childish Gambino song before, My Shine. But I
Yep.
remember talking about this and being like, when Because the Internet came out, that was my first real, like, I hadn't listened to Camp before.
Okay.
So I listened to that and I was like, this is really good. And back then, I was even less into rap than I am now. I'm still not huge into it, but I have explored the genre more for sure. But people
Well, I'm
shit
proud of
on
you
that
for opening your
album.
horizons, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you. But yeah, I just remember people shitting on that album, and I was like,
Redbone or Camp?
uh,
Not Redbone. Redbone's the song. Sorry.
because the internet. It was
Okay.
only
Okay.
a
Okay.
couple years later that
Oh, right. Right. Right.
I saw people starting to be like, hey, actually, this album's pretty good, and I was like, well, yeah, I knew that. Why didn't you see that when it came out?
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that drives me insane. It happens a lot with artists where there's just like they're almost like they're ahead of their time kind of situation. Like they're setting the next trend before you realized that it's the next trend in music.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's hard to hear that before you're ready to because you're used to hearing something different.
yeah,
Another artist that I have definitely alluded to talking to a million different times, and I'm not afraid to admit that I used to be a very big fan of Kanye West. I don't want to say that I'm not still, but like just where he's at in his life right now and the things that are going on with that, that's a whole rabbit hole conversation we can talk about later. But a lot of his stuff that came out off graduation and college dropout and 808s and heartbreaks, like it was the same thing. Like you weren't, some of the stuff wasn't well received as it was releasing, but then people look back on it and they're like, oh my God, holy crap. How did we fucking sleep on this one? How did we miss what he was doing? And it's like, oh wow. It kind of says something for the artist. They need to get a little more credit for pushing those limits early on.
yeah. And then people will be like, oh wow, this was actually a lot better than we gave it credit for. I
Yeah.
think, and this is another artist that we've talked about at length and had this discussion about, but Weezer, same thing happened with Pinkerton.
Yeah.
When they released the Blue album, everyone was like, hell yeah, Blue album. Then Pinkerton came out, and everyone was like, what is this? And then years
Yeah.
later, it became like, I guess it's considered a cult classic now. I'm sure you can hear the air quotes, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was the same thing where at the time, everyone was like, wow, this is very not good. And then years later, people were like, oh, this is actually very good.
I actually like this very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like people just they don't know what they want yet, and sometimes we just kind of have to give the artist the room to cook. Let them cook, if you will.
Yeah, as they said in Back to the Future, you might not be ready for this, but your kids are gonna love it.
Good call out.
Yeah.
Who's the cover artist, by the way?
So the artist that is going to be performing this song is called The Main Squeeze. They are a funk rock band from Bloomington, Indiana, which is not a place that I would consider particularly funky, but whatever. They manage it. They've been around since 2010, and while they do release original music, honestly, what made me gravitate towards them is their covers. I actually,
So they do a lot.
yes. So I had a hard time choosing which cover. I wanted to do one by them, and I will just say for sure, and I'll put it on the playlist that I will be making for this episode. The other one I was heavily considering was their cover of "Have a Cigar" by Pink Floyd,
Interesting.
and their covers are "Chef's Kiss." Their original
Cool.
music I enjoy, and I don't want to pigeonhole a band to being a cover band. That sucks. Like, I was in bands for many years where I got sick of playing covers, but we were doing note for note covers. They definitely take things in their own direction and put their own spin on it. So I have to imagine that when someone perhaps sees them live and they say, oh, I'd really like you to play your cover of War Pigs or Man in the Mirror, they'll be like, well, hell yeah, the songs are great. And they're not going to be sick of performing those covers.
Yeah, that's definitely nice, and I like that too. That's something that I'm a fan of, is being able to like enjoy those kind of things and seeing them happen.
Yeah. So this cover came out in 2017, so I mean, I don't know the exact time window, so we'll say about a year after Redbone probably blew up.
Yeah, I would
And,
agree.
and then for band members, it's a five-piece band. We've got Corey Fry on vocals, Ben Silverstein on keyboards, Maximilian Newman on guitar. That is a dope name for a dope man. Ruben Gingrich on drums, and Rob Walker on bass, which is also a really good name for a bass player. Wow.
That is a good name for a bass player. Walking on that line. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. Now, none of these covers are on streaming services because they're covers, and I don't know if they have the rights to monetize them. But
Okay.
they're on YouTube, and that is where we have been putting our playlists. So we'll not have any trouble getting this out there to be heard.
Nice.
I don't really have much else to say.
I think that's it too. I just want to say I'm excited to see. The one thing that I like about covers is trying to see how they'll change it, if they change it,
Mhm.
and then how they change the lyrical cadence to fit it.
Well,
Like, does it still drive that message home for you, kind of a thing? I'm excited for that.
all right. Well, we'll jump into it, and I will be interested to see your thoughts on it when we're done because I think this is a song that you probably know very well. So I'm interested to see what you think of it.
I'm excited to rip it apart. I'm just
Oh
kidding.
shit! All right.
This
So,
just in, the first episode of the Saltback.
ooh. All right. This is going to be Redbone by the Main Squeeze, originally by Childish Gambino.
Say light
but stay woke. They be creeping, they gon' find you, gonna catch you sleeping. Ooh, so stay woke. They be creeping, don't you close your eyes, yeah. Too late. You wanna make it right, but now it's too late. My peanut butter chocolate cake with Kool-Aid. I'm trying not to waste the time. If you want it, oh, you can have it, oh. If you need it, we can make it, oh yeah. If you want it, we can have it, oh, oh. But stay woke, they be creeping, they gon' find you, gonna catch you sleeping. Ooh, stay woke, they be creeping, don't you close your eyes. Oh, oh, stay woke, they be creeping, they gon' find you, gonna catch you sleeping. Ooh, stay woke, they be creeping, don't you close your eyes. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to ask you a question. Then
Oh
we can get
no.
into when we can get into everything.
Okay.
Is a thought that you ever had what Redbone needs is a tasty ass ripping guitar solo.
Before today, no.
But after today,
Now I want to know why doesn't Redbone have that?
well, now it does.
No, you're absolutely right, and that's actually so. One of the things I wanted to touch on was that today, and I'm glad you started off with it. That was awesome. I will say, hands down, that is my favorite change that they made. Because I will also say, for those of you that haven't heard Redbone before, he did stay pretty true to the song. The lyrics were the radio edit, to
Yes.
be fair, and that's fine. It's still good. They just took the liberties out of it.
Right.
But every other part of it, it sounded exactly like Redbone would if it were a little bit warmer because it were played on real instruments and it wasn't created on a computer. Not that anything's wrong with it, but what we learned on the previous episodes where we talked about Childish Gambino, a lot of his stuff was started off by played on like a literal like tiny ass little keyboard that they used to play in the intros for the songs on Community. So like he was using a keyboard and then kind of changing the sound with that and then putting on samples and other things of that nature. When you're doing that, you kind of lose the warmth in the live studio instruments, and we've also discussed that. And anybody that knows music and listens to it will can agree and attest that a live performance, when recorded properly and sounding correctly, it does not match an actual album. There's just way more warmth. There's way more all of that stuff. Now, I want to caveat real quick. First caveat of the episode, maybe? I don't, probably not. But I have been known to say the complete opposite for like, I don't understand, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for it, and I don't even care, but I don't understand the whole listening to like the Grateful Dead recordings from a certain time or Fish recordings from a certain time, like, and all that stuff from a certain venue because they sound better. I always appreciated like being in the moment with that kind of stuff.
Right.
Like if I can hear a crowd in the background, I want to be there. I don't want to pretend that I'm there.
I get what you're saying. I think there are some monumental, I don't know if that's the word that I particularly want to use, but just certain live performances that people are always going to be like, this is something that you need to hear. Obviously, it's not the same as being there yourself, but it's just one of those things where they captured something in that moment, and
I agree.
it's just something that everyone will be like, this is essential listening.
No, absolutely. Because like seeing that the way that the people reacted, or just something that the artist did, it's kind of the same thing as when we watch like these kind of things where they're all together in some room doing a single take. Whether it's like I'm brain farting on some of the episodes we listened to before, but the one that we listened to where it had the whole big band. What was that again?
Oh,
Anamanaguchi? No.
no, that was Nowhere.
Nowhere, yes. Something about everything. No, Everything Ever All at Once was the movie. It was, what's the song again from Nowhere? I'm sorry.
It's all nothing until it's everything.
Yes. So not on the level of It's All Nothing Until It's Everything, where they have, peeling those layers back, getting further, 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 showing you bigger, larger, louder sounds. It's more like a Tiny Desk-esque kind of thing, where it's just more intimate, just kind of crammed in together. And quick question, why did they have both a piano and an organ?
Yes, because I think during the first half of the song, I want to call it acoustic. I don't know if I can call it completely acoustic because the organ is likely, has to be plugged in. But you did have Max playing on the acoustic guitar, and the bass player, Rob Walker, that's his name, was also playing organ while the other guy was playing keyboard. And then once they make the switch halfway through the song, you could see that I need to pull this up. The keyboard player was actually double-handing.
Doing both.
Yeah, he was playing
Yeah.
keyboard and organ while Rob switched to bass, and Max pulled out his fucking Gibson Guitar Hero Special.
Yeah, no, that was cool. It was really cool when they did that. I loved that guitar solo. That was sick. But I'm glad you mentioned. I want to talk about the keyboard organ, not the keyboard, piano organ back and forth. And I was going to say, shout out to him. I don't know if he is a dad, but he has the skills of a dad where you're trying to find the thing your kid dropped in the back seat while also driving the car.
Yeah,
And he was crushing it.
yeah. I think I think that's part of what I really really like about this performance is that obviously I think everyone, the first thing I mentioned to you was like, hell yeah, guitar solo. And as a guitar player myself, of course, I'm going to gravitate towards that. But once you start really paying attention, you realize that everyone is crushing it. The bass player is just, he's so locked in. The rhythm section is just
Mm-hmm.
so locked in and in the pocket and tight and holding everything down, along with the keyboard and organ, while the guitar player is going nuts over the top. And obviously, during a solo, the singer isn't, he's bowed out for a little bit, but Corey Fry is an amazing singer. He has got pipes.
Oh, so I'm glad you brought that back up again. I want to go back and touch real quick and say I liked in the solo how it kind of camera kind of shifted and changed around, and he even like peeled away and just like locked in on him, but you can still see what was going on in the background to kind of so you could appreciate all those things. It was really neat, and it's definitely something that you'll definitely have to come back when we put up that playlist if you don't already go out and search it on your own to watch and appreciate what they do, because I'm telling you, seeing what they're doing and how they're doing it is just it's awesome.
Yeah. It's just it's not only a great musical performance, but for as simple as the videography is, it's almost just like one fixed camera the whole time, except for that short transition where it kind of pans away or like zooms in a little bit, and then you see the bass head like appear in frame, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, yeah,
And then it zooms out, and you can see that they've switched around, and there's the bass and the electric guitar, and it's like, oh, this is going places.
yeah. That was really cool. But as you were just saying, like his voice was fantastic. I was gushing over how well he was singing and what he was singing and how he kind of re-envisioned what Gambino had done. I did want to say, so it's funny, we were talking about this beforehand, where we were saying, like, no matter what we think about things, we're always usually pretty polite about how we feel and we'll focus on certain things. Just because I used to listen to Redbone a million times, I'm so much more used to hearing his voice. So for me, that was the only part that, and I don't even want to say I didn't like, but it was the only part that I wasn't just like absolutely locked in and captivated by for like his individual performance, because like I was like I was thinking about like the way Childish Gambino delivers.
Right.
But then like once I started to get over the fact that I wasn't hearing his voice, I stopped worrying about that. So then I could really just kind of go in and, like I said before, gush and be so appreciative of what he did, because like I almost screwed myself from the whole experience, thinking to myself like like grumpy old man, arm cross pouting, like I'm not gonna like this because it's not my guy doing it. I don't like what these people are doing, changing things around. I like my way.
Right.
Well, I had to get over myself for a quick minute because I wanted to be able to appreciate it, and I'm glad that I did, because if you've never heard the original version, then you would think that this song was theirs.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
like they took command.
Yeah. And there's something, I have always, I don't remember where it was. It was a debate I heard though about covers, comparing them to originals and all that. And I think the argument was kind of centered around Shinedown's version of Simple Man as compared to the original by Skinnerd. And
Okay.
one guy was arguing that the cover is better. And that's a tough assertion to make, I think, with any cover, because it's not theirs. You know what I mean?
Right.
But at the same time, what the other guy argued was saying that the person who composed the song, the artist who made the original version, just they made it to where they were satisfied with it and wanted to put it out into the world, where the person who does the cover is able to study that original because it's something that exists already, and they're able to listen to it over and over again and put their own spin on it. And it's almost like being able to study for a test as opposed to coming up with a test on your own. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it too. The one thing I was gonna say was I can I can argue both sides of it. When you say like, when there's a cover, it's hard to say that someone did it better than the original person that did it. But like, I think that's the subjective side of it,
Right.
where the artist that you're hearing and what they're doing might be more in the vein of what you like and what you know, or what kind of genre you're looking to. Because like, I think we've said it before. Full disclaimer: I do not support anything AI that is art based. I understand using it for, maybe a resume and a cover letter because that's the way that they're listing the job anyway. So fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
But when it comes to music, art, and other creative things, you shouldn't be doing that. Shame on you. For
Agreed.
any reason at all. Any reason at all. Memes or anything. I don't care. Get better. There's literally no, just stop. But yeah, I was gonna say the new trend of things that I am seeing, unfortunately, that I have to block. I almost lost my train of thought, but I got it back. Was people using AI to re-envision songs as if they were like 1940s doo-wop or something like
Oh
that.
yeah,
Whatever.
I don't like that either.
No, I see those and I hit X and I keep moving. Like I don't even want to give them the ability that I recognized it. Like within the first 5 seconds, I said "fuck you."
Yeah.
But my point was is that it's like that. It's like doing that for yourself, but the cheap way. So like if you're really into like to funk, like you said, and again, kind of surprised that they are as funky as they are coming from where they came from, like you mentioned yourself.
Yeah.
But like we all knew this before because we discussed it on the Gambino episode that this whole album was kind of like more funk and more like soul than it was a traditional rap hip hop, which is why I got overlooked.
Yes.
So for them, it's like it's in their wheelhouse. So no offense to Donald Glover slash Childish Gambino. I wanted to say both there because it's like, it had to be his idea to some extent too. It's not just, but like we all know that he does all his stuff himself. At
Yes.
least for the most part, he does. I can't say for certainty everything ever, but I will confidently say some of the stronger, more like songs like this specifically, the ones that feel like more like fleshed out and thought out, they are all his. Like they're his babies through and through.
Yeah.
So this is his first time diving into that, and it was almost like it was when he created the album. It was more like I keep saying the album, but "Awaken My Love," just to make things clear. When he was making "Awaken My Love," it was more like his first time doing a funk soul sound, and as an appreciation to that type of music and artists that have tried to do something like this before. Whereas the main squeeze was like, oh, we do this stuff normally. Let me do a little bit more and see you, like, show you an area where you could have improved a little bit because you didn't know that you could do something like this, or you didn't know that our style could do something like this. And like, it's like a little bit of their flavor on a genre that Gambino was trying to enter into and have a good time with.
Yeah, I think that that is also something that really needs to be taken into account when considering a cover, especially if it's a cover that is really going to deviate from the source material. This, and we've discussed it, stays pretty true, honestly. Like, it really does. You think of all the friggin' ska punk covers you've heard of 80 songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not complaining about those. I love ska
No,
punk.
not at all.
But when you consider Take on Me by Aha, and then you listen to the Real Big Fish version, they're
Or any of the 47 versions of 99 Red Balloons.
right, but everyone knows the Goldfinger one is the best. However, it's just it's I it's apples and oranges. They're both fruit, but they're hard to compare. Which that always makes me think of fucking, I don't know if you've heard Pillow Talking by Lil Dicky.
I did, yes.
Yeah, when she says apples to oranges, and he goes, "Bitch, that don't make no sense. Why can't fruit be compared?"
Yes.
But
A great line, by the way.
yes, but I could see it from both sides of the argument. Like, yeah, they're both fruit, but they're so different from each other that it is hard to compare them. But at the same time, you can pick out certain elements, and you know, in this cover, one of the things that I love most, and it's so simple, is that the drummer uses the xylophone.
That was awesome. Yeah. And he
And
did such a good job on that, by the way, for matching and getting it on point like that. That was clean.
exactly. And it's just such a little thing that makes a world of difference to adding to the song.
Absolutely. And I mean, that was a great call out too for our listeners that haven't had the chance to watch the video to appreciate it. But like as you just said, like he's got the xylophone off to the side there and he's just bum 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 and like it was awesome.
Yeah.
That's where that like extra warmth came from too. Like hearing that note naturally resonate out.
Yeah. It's a really good cover because it's so true to the original, but they do enough that just spins it and takes it to a higher level, I feel. And again, this is one of those cases where I don't know if I would be like, this is better than the original. Because I don't really like doing that in general. But I could make an argument for it, I think.
So what I would like to say right here, right now, is for any one of our listeners, or even maybe if you're capable of doing it yourself and you feel like doing a little fun side project later, I want Childish Gambino's vocals from his version. If it has to be the radio edit so that it matches up better, I don't care, that's fine. And then I want somebody to take, what was the lead singer's name again in this version? I'm sorry.
Corey Fry.
Corey Fry from the main squeeze. I want you to take his version and layer it underneath because I know it's going to harmonize pretty damn well. And then just use the entire main squeeze's performance of the song because I need to hear that just personally. And I think potentially that has the ability to be the best version of this song.
I could see that.
So if anybody out there has the ability to do that, or maybe if that already exists, I'll do a little Google search and find it myself, and I'll share it with the episode. So you're hearing about it now, so you'll hear about it and see it later if it does exist. I'm making a note for myself to do that. And I will try to find out if it does so that I can bring it to you if you guys already know about it yourselves. I'm going to take that note now.
Yeah, that is, I mean, I listen to a lot of covers. I love a good cover. I've got a playlist that's probably like over 120 songs. That's all just covers. And I don't know, there are some, like, this is definitely all of their covers. And their originals are good too. But I am looking forward to making this playlist because they pull from a lot of different genres to do their covers. But there are some where I'm just like, yeah, I think that does it. Like, I gotta say, Killswitch Engage's cover of Holy Diver. Sorry, Dio. I like that more, man. Like, I think they just, and a lot of it also, I will say, has to do with production. That was recorded in the early 2000s, whereas Dio's version was probably 1970s. So great strides made in production quality, but also I just think Howard Jones
absolutely.
is one of the best singers to ever exist. Same with Dio too, R.I.P. But I just there's something about that cover that does it for me. Probably the heavier elements and just I like Howard Jones a whole lot.
Yeah, and that's just it. That's what we were saying before. That's a good callback to, sometimes we just appreciate the way that person sounds or that kind of whatever, where it kind of just did a little bit more for us, like you said, a little bit heavier, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and it's never like, I don't know that I have ever heard a cover where I'm like, I don't like the original, but I like the cover.
Right. Well, yeah, because I mean, there's very few times where you find a cover before the original, and then the cover is done in like in a way that you like. Because again, like you said, at the end of the day, the person that created the song in the first place still made the original. So if you can't appreciate where it came from, then why do you appreciate where it went so much more? That's a weird thing to me. It's a weird concept.
Yeah, I mean, and you and I don't know if I want to say grew up, or we were around at the time of all those Punk Goes albums.
Right.
And if I'm going to listen to Silverstein doing One Republic's Apologize, or All Time Low doing Rihanna's Umbrella, for examples. I may not be in love with the original songs, but I like them enough to know that I really like the cover.
Right. Right, because the bones are still there, the structure is still there, you know, the base element of what the song was, and most of the time, I will say, is still there.
Yes.
A caveat to the call out I made before about it. There's sometimes too when I wanted that kind of mashup where I said where both people's vocals were there. There's times too where like I think Childish Gambino could take a back seat to Fryer, right?
Fry. F R
Fry,
Y E.
Damn it, I messed up. I had the chance. But yeah, like there's parts where like Fry definitely has a more interesting take too.
I think it's just more of a powerful performance because the track itself is a pretty laid back track just as a whole in general. So I think the original performance as well, and that's not to say that I have seen performances of Childish Gambino doing this song live, and he does the same thing. He belts, man. Like he will hit those notes. But I think on the recorded version particularly, it is a little bit more reined in almost is how I think I would put it. Whereas here, yeah, he's letting it all hang out. He's belting.
Yeah, and I think that's a good call out too, because that is something that I have not seen is him perform live, even if it's like a recording of a concert or something like that. Like him in person does something very different, which is good to know because that can give you a better appreciation for the song too. Because I think we've talked about that before too, where like at the end of the day, like if a band can't perform their song live, then I'm sorry, you just lost a whole bunch of credit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I get it if like something happened at the venue and the sound wasn't correct because they didn't do a good job or something's blown and they didn't repair it in time. Then yeah, okay, I get it because that unfortunately happened to me once. I went to a show and the band literally on stage said that the acoustics and the monitor in ear were so all messed up and out of sync that the band didn't know where they were supposed to be at, so they couldn't even play.
Oof.
So they literally just ended the show. They played like 3 songs in a row, just like eyes closed, banged them out from like how they played them in the studio kind of thing, like ones they felt comfortable doing that with.
Yeah.
So this way we at least had something to hear. And then they're just like, "We're sorry, guys. We really apologize that this has to happen." Good night.
I'm not usually one who will like shit on the sound guy, but that's rough.
Right, and that's just it. And I agree, same exact thing. But for them, but they even they were playing. They said they had an issue. They said we're gonna take a quick break and see if they can figure it out for us. They gave them like 20 minutes, came out and tried again, and were like, no, we're sorry. And then just like played whatever songs they played and left. And I was like, well, that hurts my heart.
Yeah. Yeah. That sucks.
But when that happens, which is, I'm sure, like, you know, a snowball's chance in hell, it does, and that unfortunately can ruin an experience, but like it wouldn't take away from the band.
Right. Yeah.
They still tried, and those few songs that they played like back to back to back were good. They sounded really, really good. I was happy I got to hear them, but it was like, fuck, I heard like 8 songs and only 3 sounded good instead of like 20 and having a really awesome time.
Yeah.
Notice my purposefulness of not saying who or where I was.
Yeah, I did, and I'm not going to press you on it. But,
Thank you.
I mean, I've had experiences like that too, where seeing like a fairly well-known band, not like anyone huge, but at like a lesser-known, smaller venue, and just having performed myself and been in bands, and just being like, wow, the sound guy's kind of not doing a great job, you know?
Right. That hurts. That hurts your heart real bad.
Yeah.
Man, new goal. I'm going to open a venue, but it's not going to be the greatest venue, but it's going to be the fucking greatest sound guy.
Oh, yeah. The venue itself will be a hole in the wall. Trash.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
everything will sound amazing.
The acoustics will be perfectly set up so that everything sounds exactly as it should, which will surprise the heck out of you.
It will be a chef's kiss.
You heard it here first. The Feedback Performance Lounge, or whatever it'll be.
Or whatever you end up calling it.
TM, TM, TM.
TM, 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 TM.
That's my brainchild. I own all brain rights.
There you go.
I think that's how that works. Um, I'm kind of excited to see what this playlist is going to have because, like you said, like they did a bunch of different stuff. So I kind of want to hear what else there is. Um, not in an insulting way, but like being that this was in their wheelhouse, like they definitely crushed it.
I mean,
I'm
do you
curious
want me to?
what.
I pretty much have it formed in my head. I could tell you a lot of stuff that's going to be on there. And the question that I asked you, like as soon as we finished listening to this, I can ask questions like that for most of the songs.
Interesting. So like the thing is like I want to see if it's in their genre or if they do a cover so it sounds more like their stylistic ways on top of it, but it sounds true to the original to some
Hmm.
extent. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear those songs and definitely discuss that. We can I would even do that right now. We could listen to them all right now if you wanted to. Like that's how good the experience was with this song right now, which I think says a lot, right? Like I'm ready to listen to more covers and more songs right now by them and kind of dissect that.
Yeah. It's a really good rabbit hole to go down. But
Yeah, I was gonna say this might be like a 5 hour episode if we did that.
yeah. Like I said, this is I tried really hard to decide between this and Have a Cigar.
Hmm.
Some of the others that I definitely want to throw on there: Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson originally,
Interesting.
War Pigs by Black Sabbath, of course,
Interesting.
Hotel California by the Eagles.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Trying to think. I know there's more, but those are the ones that are jumping to my head right now.
I want to hear War Pigs right now, to be quite honest with you. And
Yeah.
I might just do that after this is over. Full disclosure, I might just pop that on and check it out. Because, like, Hotel California, I can kind of hear in their not like in their wheelhouse, but I can, like, and again, I have no idea what to expect, but I can see that one being more like that, And
Yeah.
then a few of the other ones too, I can kind of hear, other things too, but like that one sticks comes to mind. But like War Pigs, I'm very interested to hear how they do that, especially hearing this guy's voice. I really want to know what that's going to sound like, and I want to know if it's like that tempo or if it's more like soul and funk tempo. And if it's soul and funk tempo, I really want to hear their take on it.
Well, we might do that next off podcast because I
Off recording.
yeah I definitely would be interested to hear what you have to say about it.
Man, that almost feels like it's something like we should record it ourselves anyway, just in case we want to have a little excerpt for it, because that might be good.
I mean,
We'll just have to.
we can keep rolling afterwards and
Yeah, 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 yeah,
pull
yeah, yeah.
pull sound bites.
We can also edit out that part too. I don't care what we do about it.
No,
The,
yeah.
the talking on stream, ideas on stream, TM, TM, TM.
Yes.
I'm excited for it. Yeah, I want to do that. But more about this. Unless, I mean, the last thing I know I say it every single time, but like that's just like an attest to like what's going on and what we're doing and how things are going with like almost like we're picking for each other in some instances, even though that's not the overall goal, but sometimes it is.
Sometimes, yeah.
I mean, like, sometimes it's just like a general, like, I really like this song. I want you to hear it because I really like it. What do you think? And then there's other times where it's like, oh, Scoobs would really like this song, and I really like this song. I hope I'm right. So it's like one of those kind of moments. Kind of like the Dance Haley Dance moment where it's like, oh, I think he'll really like this mashup. And you were absolutely right. I did.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to disclose that on right now or not, if you want it to be a mystery, but do they do it in like the funk soul kind of thing, or do they kind of stick to whatever the original sound is but put their spin?
Um, it's honestly like a good mix of the two.
Cool. That's really cool. I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm my appetite is teased, not appeased. It's teased.
It has been whetted.
Yes, I've had an appetizer. I'm ready for the main course.
Yeah, the appetizer was the podcast episode, and the main course will be
Oh, that's funny.
something that we barely record.
Oh man, I mean, I just mean it in the sense of like, My introduction to them as
Yes,
a genre, not a
your
genre,
your
as an artist.
your curiosity has been piqued.
Yes, I want to go to a buffet of the main squeeze.
There you go.
In case you didn't know, we're people that like food just as much as we like music
Oh yeah,
and video games.
yep, those are the three big ones. I was about to say video games too. Those are the three big passions. So we've already discussed starting a gaming channel. Maybe we'll do food reviews too. Who knows?
I'm down for it. That one will have to be in person because we'll have to like record cooking and sharing.
Yeah,
So we'll have to get a whole production team. That's when we're big time.
yeah. That's when we really spread our wings.
That's what all this hard work is for right now, to be able to do our in-person food cooking review podcast
Yeah.
called Little Bites. You've heard it here first. You can't take it. It's ours.
Little bites. No, it
It
has
might
to be
already
little. You're
exist.
right. It can't be Lil because those are what those like Hostess muffins are called. Little bites, I
Right.
think.
Right.
Okay.
Little Bites might exist too. Who knows? I mean, it's 2025. I'm sure. You know, I was pretty impressed to find out that there weren't many major hits by the feedback before we made our podcast, because right now they were huge and everyone loves us and everyone knows us, right?
Yeah.
Because this is going to be like 3 months from recording before it gets out there for you guys.
Very true.
Oh,
That
if
of
you don't have
course.
anything else to say,
I was gonna say that makes me think of this is where the ADHD is really kicking in. But when you're like, I'm surprised there wasn't anything for the feedback, it makes me think of the episode of Futurama with poplars, where they're like, what will we call them? Well, the only things left are poplars or tasticles. Let's call them poplars.
yeah, definitely the better option there. I'm not that familiar with that episode, but Futurama is a fantastic show. Good
It
call
really
out.
is. All
They have
right.
a lot of really good stuff.
Now that we're talking about food and Futurama, I think it's time to wrap this up.
Yeah, I was gonna say earlier there I had a great segue, but you'll have to take this one instead because I want you to listen to me from the past, well, the way past, talk to you in the kind of past about what you should be doing in the present. That's right, because important long-winded information and ADHD don't mix. But I hope if you've made it to this point, you like what Scoops and I are doing, and hopefully you like it so much you want to shout it from the top of a mountain. But it would be a whole lot more helpful if you told your friends about us instead. Word of mouth or listening with someone is our favorite, but social media is also great, and you can interact with us there too. So please come by our Instagram, Blue Sky, or Facebook, where you can find us as The Feedback, or on Twitter, formerly known as Twitter /X, at @thefeedback_PC to see what's coming next, suggest a song, talk about our latest episode, or just talk about anything.
That's right. We might have to update that and be like throw some other stuff in there, like leave us a rating wherever you can do that.
And probably get rid of the fact that we have Blue Sky and Twitch, or Twitch.
Oh, we don't have Twitch yet.
No, get rid of our Blue Sky and our other call out because I pretty much only focus on Instagram and Facebook, to be quite blunt.
But hey,
Oh, X, that's the one.
if we start getting more interaction on there, we'll show up for it.
They exist. They're out there.
Yeah.
We own them, but we're just not. You know,
We're not
We're not
very we're not very social network oriented people.
Nope. We're trying.
Yeah, it's tough.
Dang it.
What I am a big proponent of is the artist who creates our intro and outro music. The artist is Exile, and the track is Egg. You can find that wherever fine music is found. I would suggest checking out some of Exile's other work. It's pretty unique, honestly. It's electronica, but he uses a flute and saxophone and just creates some really fun soundscapes that you kind of don't hear as much. So definitely go check that out. Again, I keep saying it. One of these days, I'm going to bring an Exile track to the podcast so we can give him some more nice, robust credit. But for now, thank you for Egg. It's a great song. Still not sick of it.
I was gonna say I actually I finally went and listened to it myself for the first time in like its entirety, because I normally listen to it on the beginning and ending of the episodes, but you've been giving it such great call outs all this time, and I just have been naive to it, and I finally went and did, and I was like, man, this is a good song.
Right?
You know what made me do it? When I said at the end of the one episode where I was going to start trying to get good at like doing it myself. So I was like, I gotta listen to this like a bajillion times if I'm going to be able to do this. So I was like, let's get it started.
There it is.
Challenge accepted, by the way. I will scat us out one day and you won't even know the difference.
That would be pretty impressive, man. If you see and hear what beatboxers can do now, it's insane.
Challenge accepted.
Look up the song "Dopamine" by Wing. That's my last shout out for this episode. But check that out and be like, I don't know how a human does that.
I just wrote it down so I don't forget.
Nice. All right, I think that's gonna do it for us this week, right?
Yeah, if you haven't gotten enough already, then what are you doing? Go back and listen to some of our old episodes or something.
Yeah, for real. There has not been a single song that either of us have brought that we've been like, ugh. Which would be weird, considering that one of us is always bringing this. It's possible that the other person could have that reaction, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, we have not deleted a single episode except for the really, really rough ones when we were first starting things out.
Yeah.
But that was just doing everybody a favor, I promise.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go back and listen to that and be like, whoa.
Look how far we've come. Oh, oh.
All right, and look how much further we have to go. All right, thanks for listening, everyone, and join us next week for whatever we dig up next. Goodbye.
Dude, I was hooked on it, and I would stay up and watch them live back in the day. Now
we're too old
thoughts
for
are
that
fine.
shit.
Legitimately. Plus, I always also found out after a few years of like watching it live, realizing how much time is just wasted on like basic shit that I don't need to see.
Yeah, it's just like sweeping crowd shots while dubstep plays in the background for like 20 minutes, and there's a 3-minute awkward interview with the player, and then 10 more minutes of awkward panning crowd shots. With a VOD, you can just skip through all that.